In this design here by Angus Wheaton Landscape Design, I'm looking in model space and I have a title block, and there it is. This works well. This system works well. If I go to a sheet, here we have the title block again, but because it's been inserted in model space and it looks fine on this particular layout, the scale is a 1 to 100 at an A2. But if I create a new layout and I look at it here, 1 to 100 is not what we have. We have a not to scale on an A2 sheet. If I select the floating viewport here, fixed scale is no, there is none. It's actually a view scale of about 150, and that's not an approved scale anyway. But can you see the difficulty? We really need to change tack a little. An easier way to work is to come back into model space and delete the block from there and then come back in here and we'll zoom out. What we now need to do is to insert the same title block and pop it in this environment. Then we can explode it, edit it, and do exactly the same for this sheet, and so we'll get the correct information on each sheet. Well, if I come back here to the model, the title block's now gone. Go into the A2 sheet, I've inserted the block, and notice that my scale is 0.01 or 1 to 100. So the block was made in model space, and I've just inserted a copy of that block into layout space for an A2 sheet, and I can do the same on this layout sheet. But let's assume for the moment that I have this correctly, the information here correct, so I'm going to explode it. That information will stay on this sheet, and when I come to the A3 sheet and bring the block in here, I'll again explode and update the information for this environment. And I'll just work my way through each layout sheet. I'll adopt that approach. I think that will help the designers at Angus Wheaton Landscapes. So let's bring the block into this A3 size sheet. I come up here, pick up the title block, which is named A2. I think we can refine this later, but for the moment, we want to demonstrate how you can deal with multiple sheets and get the correct information on each. So we'll insert it into the drawing. Now, we want to specify the scale this time because it's not to scale, and we'll change that. So we'll click, and in here, and can you see now I can drag and set it up to be appropriate. And in it goes. It's the block. I can move it up into position and explode it. And the information we want to edit is this information here. So it is a 3 sheet, oops, and not to scale. And we're away. Now we still have to deal with the same information that we did before. So we can pick the floating viewport, which we set to be color white over here, 255. But again, we'd want to go to viewport layers and turn off that and unselect all. So now let me zoom extents. So both sheets now have the correct information in their title block. So I hope that helps manage what can be a little tricky set of requirements from a client's point of view.